Hi again then guys, and so it's that time again for us to speculate and argue and discuss about what cars we think are these four silhouettes, of course, from Kaz's Twitter for the next update in Gran Turismo Sport. Now, one of them is very easy because we already knew that the Porsche Taycan is coming this month, of course. That one is obviously one of the four, but as always, we're going to go from top left to right and then down, working through my predictions for the cars. We've been discussing this at length on the Discord server as well, so if you'd like to join over there's well over 600 of us from the channel, so of course you can join in on the discussion by slapping the link down below. Now, starting from that top left, this one has actually had me going back and forth between two cars, to be honest, because the general consensus has been that it is a Mazda 3, possibly even a Mazda Speed 3. But for me personally, the first thing I thought when I looked at the car was the new shape Mercedes A-Class. However, there are things that kind of throw me off both of those vehicles, even though it looks so much like both of them at the same time. It certainly looks very similar to the Mazda 3, because the Mazda 3 and the Mercedes A-Class are very similar in shape now. As far as the Mazda though, it looks to me like there is a strake in the middle of the grille running across it, which is much more of a distinctly Mercedes thing to do. At the same time though, some of the proportions look more like the Mazda, and the lights may be a little bit off, so I don't know as far as this one goes. I want to say Mercedes because I think that would be cool, but at the same time we'd already have the A45, so arguably the Mazda would be a more significant newer vehicle to have in the game, and so on this occasion I'll go with the general consensus of the discussion and say the Mazda 3. Now the next one is a very interesting one, clearly a classic. Now this one could be one of two variants of the Mercedes 300 SEL AMG. Now it looks to me like it's pretty clearly the racing version. One of the most iconic Mercedes race cars ever, of course, bright red, flared arches, a larger engine as well, significantly more power, and crucially there are some differences with the silhouette that make me think that this is the SEL race car rather than the road version. The first one is the lights on the front. You can clearly see those extra spotlights sticking out of the front, which the road car simply doesn't have. Then at the same time, the ride height appears to be lower, and the wheels look like more deep dish, chunky, larger rims than on, again, the regular street car, and all of those things would point more so towards the racing version. It will certainly be interesting to see, though, if it is the race car. Will this be another Group X, possibly high roller? I said on the Discord server in our conversation that it wouldn't surprise me if this car costs around 1 million credits, if not more, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, the next one, of course, is the easiest. It is, of course, the Porsche Taycan. It was already confirmed. I was getting a little bit antsy about whether or not it would actually arrive in October, as announced, but it is, and that's great. I'm really looking forward to this one. Doubtless it will be in Group X, because it would be completely unfair if it isn't, considering that the BMW i3 and the Tesla already are. So we'll have to see how good that one is. It's going to be fast, we know that. And last but not least, we clearly have a Lamborghini Aventador. The only question was, which Aventador? And although my initial thoughts were it must, considering the rear wing, be the obvious choice of the Aventador SVJ with its Nürburgring lap record, but if you look at the nose cone, it isn't, because the SVJ of course has those two very distinct air intakes on that nose. This one does not. This has that smoother nose, and I would say is probably the Aventador SV, which isn't exactly slow. It's not as quick as the SVJ, but it is quicker than the normal Aventador. Still kind of a strange choice to go for, considering that we already have the Aventador in the game, and you can tune it up to a similar level to this anyway, but we'll have to wait and see, because of course we recently had a new variation of the Camaro, the ZL1, when we already had the SS, so it's not beyond polyphony, of course, to add variants of a car, albeit much faster ones, which of course is the saving grace of that. But overall, that's it for my predictions. Of course, I'd love to hear yours down below, and as I said, if you haven't already jumped over to the Discord server, you should. Click the link down below, and you can also keep up with all of the new released videos on the channel by following either the Twitter or the Instagram, which are also linked down below as well. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.